Hello everyone, it's a beautiful day to learn English. Have you ever said a word and wondered, did I say that right? Well, you're not alone. English pronunciation can be really tricky. The spelling is something and the pronunciation is a whole different thing. Well, my name is Anna. Today, we are going to tackle some of the most commonly mispronounced English words. And I think that's how you must have reacted when you mispronounced a word before. Let's look at what words we have in our list today. First one, mischievous. It means causing trouble in a playful way. But how do you pronounce this word? Mostly people make a mistake in pronouncing this by saying mischievous. Mischievous. Where is the "es" in the spelling? The right way to say it is mischievous. The stress is on the capital letters miss. Here is where you stress miss and say chivous. Mischievous. Try it with me. Mischievous. But you might easily forget how to pronounce this word when it comes in a sentence. So I'm going to give you a sentence and you should practice that so that your pronunciation for this word will be better. Let's look at the sentence. Her mischievous grin made everyone laugh. Moving on to the next word, pronunciation. The way in which a word is said, exactly what we are trying to learn today. But how is this word pronounced? Mostly people make mistakes when they say pronunciation. Because you pronounce a word, they say pronunciation. But the way to say this correctly is pronunciation. The stress is right here, on the A before shun. Pronunciation. Try it after me now. Pronunciation. That's right. And once again, to remember the right way to pronounce the word pronunciation, we are going to look at a sentence. The teacher corrected the student's pronunciation in class. Moving on. A concentrated, strong coffee. How do you say this word? Do we say espresso? No. We say espresso. Espresso. Stress on spre. Espresso. Say it with me. Espresso. Right. Let's look at a sentence. She ordered an espresso to give her a quick boost. Say espresso next time you order your coffee. What's next? Something personal ornaments like necklaces, earrings, something that I'm wearing right now. But what do you say? What is this? Do you say jewellery? That's not right. The right way to say is jewellery or just jewellery. When you pronounce it the British way, it's jewellery. When you pronounce it the American way, it's just jewellery. Choose whichever suits you best and let me know. Let's look at a sentence. She wore elegant jewellery to the wedding. And next time you go jewellery shopping, don't forget to say jewellery, not jewellery. Let's look at what is next. Frequently or happens many times. Now you definitely know about this word and people pronounce it in many different ways. Some say often. Some usually say often. But both of them are not the right way to pronounce it. The only right way to say this word is often. Just often. Sometimes you might have people who say often. That's more on the American side. And that's also acceptable today. But the dictionary way to pronounce this word correctly is often. Did you get it right? Let's try again after me. Often. Now let's look at a sentence. He often goes for a walk in the park. often and not often. What is next? A mode of transportation. Most of us have it, but what do you say? How do you say this word? Do you say vehicle or vehicle? There are many ways again which are not correct. The right way is stressing on V and going ickle. Vehicle. Vehicle. Try again. Vehicle. Right. Let's see how it goes in a sentence. They bought a new vehicle for their road trip. Not a vehicle. They bought a new vehicle for their road trip. Let's look at the next one. Now, third day of the week, and this is probably the most mispronounced word ever. Have you ever said Wednesday or even Wednesday? Now that is also incorrect. The right way to pronounce this word is Wednesday. Just Wednesday. The D does not exist in the pronunciation. The E as well does not exist. What we say it as is Wens. And the S sounds like a Z or a Z. It makes the word sound like Wednesday. Wednesday. Try it once more. Wednesday. There's no D, there's no second E, just Wednesday. Let's look at it in a sentence. We have a meeting on Wednesday in the afternoon. I hope you got that word. We'll move on to the next one. What does this mean? Large stone structure where someone is buried. But how do you pronounce it? Do you say tomb or tomb? The only thing that is wrong in this is the B. This shouldn't be there. What should be there is tomb. Just double the O's and have the T and M. Get rid of the B and the B sound and you have the pronunciation for this word, tomb. How do you say it again? Tomb. They discovered the ancient tomb while exploring the cave. Okay, let's move on to the next one. A voucher that offers discount. How do you say this word? Usually people say coupon or coupon, but there is no Q here. So why add it? The simplest way to say this word and the right way is coupon or coupon. You either say pawn, like adding a paw there, or you just say pawn. If you want to use the British way, it's coupon. And the American way is coupon. Try and say it with me, whichever one suits you. Coupon. Coupon. Let's look at a sentence. I used a coupon to get a discount on my groceries. Practice that word and do not put the Q in there. It's only coupon. Moving on to the next one. A type of fish rich in protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Have you ever heard of this fish? How do you say it? Do you say salmon? Well, again, the L here does not exist in the pronunciation. The way to say it correctly is salmon. Just say salmon. Say it after me. Salmon. Also look at it in a sentence. We had grilled salmon for dinner last night. Salmon and not salmon. Moving on to the next one. A favorable chance or occasion. Now this is also probably one of the most commonly mispronounced words. Usually you will find people saying opportunity or even opportunity. But the right way to say this word is opportunity. You see the TU, the T becomes a ch and you say opportunity. Opportunity. Try and say it after me. Opportunity. opportunity. Let's look at a sentence. This job offers a great opportunity to learn and grow. Offers a great opportunity. It's a bigger word, so try and practice it more. Opportunity. Let's move on to the next one. To say sorry or to express regret. But how do you pronounce this word? Do you usually find yourself saying apologize or apologize? Well, the right way to say it is apologize. You stress on the P-O, make it sound like a paw again and say apologize. Apologize. I hope you get that right. Practice with a sentence. He had to apologize to his friend for missing their meeting. Let's look at another one of these words. It is a dry fruit or nuts of prunus. Have you ever said almond or almond? The only way to pronounce this word correctly is by eliminating the L. The right way is almond. Just say almond. She added a handful of almonds to her morning cereal. Easy? Just almond without the L. The next word is to put something underground or to cover something completely, which means to. Have you said bury? Then it's incorrect. The right way to say is bury. How do you say it? Bury. The stress is not on the last part or the second part. The stress is on the first part. It's not ba, it's be. And you say bury. It's like you're putting something underground. So you bury it. Bury. Let's look at a sentence. They decided to bury the time capsule in the schoolyard. They buried it. Let's look at the next one. A piece of writing where words are arranged to form a rhyme. How do you pronounce this? It's a beautiful thing, but usually people say poem or even poem. But the right way to say it is poem. Just poem. Raise your stress on po and bring it down on the second part. Poem. Let's look at a sentence. She recited her favorite poem at the literary event. Let's look at one more word. A person who fits and repairs the water pipes and water system. But do you call him a plumber? The right way to say is plumber. There is again no B. Just plumber. Plumber. And you have your plumber. Let's look at it in a sentence. We called a plumber to fix the leaky tap in the kitchen. A plumber. Next, a plant or part of a plant used as food. This is what we commonly eat. And mostly children dislike it. But do you say vegetable? Is it a veggie table? No. The right way to say it is vegetable. The table becomes tibble. It sounds like tibble. And the first part is just veg. Veg-table. You stress on veg and then go tibble. Let's look at a sentence. Carrots are my favorite vegetable to eat with dip. Or you can have your own favorite vegetables. But it's a vegetable and not a table of veggies. So vegetable. Let's go on to the next one. I'm sorry about this. It's the region surrounding the South Pole. What is this region that surrounds the South Pole? Is it Antarctic or is it Antarctic? Antarctic. You stress on tark and you have Antarctic. There's no R in this. So let's look at a sentence. The research team is studying the wildlife in the Antarctic. Not in the Antarctic or the Antarctic, but the Antarctic. You always should know that in English pronunciation, the t or the p or the b are all sounds that you stress on, or even the k. You have a gush of air. You have that feel in your throat when you say those words or those sounds. So you will say Antarctic and not Antarctic. Moving on to the next one. A song or a poem, remember poem and not a poem. So a song or a poem of praise to God. But what do you call this? Or how do you say this? Not hymn. Again, the N goes away and we add an I and it becomes hymn. That's all. There is no raising your pitch. There is no fall in your pitch. You just say it hymn. Say it as hymn. And what is it? A song or a poem of praise to God. The choir sang a beautiful hymn during the service. Not hymn, because there is an N in the spelling, but without the M, the choir sang a beautiful hymn. What's next? A written sworn affirmation made under oath. But how do you pronounce this? Mostly people say affidavit or affidavit. But the right way is to stress on the day. And you have affidavit. It's affidavit. Say it once. Affidavit. I hope you got it. Let's look at a sentence. She signed an affidavit to confirm the details of the legal agreement. Easy? Let's go to the next one. It is a chronic lung condition that affects your airways. It's a breathing disease. But how do you pronounce this word? Do you say asthma? Then it's incorrect. The right way is say asthma and transit into the second part. Asthma, asthma or asthma. So let's look at a sentence. He always carries an inhaler because of his asthma or because of his asthma. Let's look at the next one. A rounded container that is used to store liquids. But do you call this a bowl or a bowl? Yes, the board tells us it's the bowl, not the baul, which is the wrong way to pronounce it. You just say bowl. Let's look at a sentence. She poured cereal into a bowl for breakfast, not in a bowl, in a bowl. What's next? A sum of money that is owed or due. But how do you pronounce this word? Do you say debt with the B? The only thing we don't need is the B again. We say debt. Just debt. He worked hard to pay off his student loan debt. He was under debt and he paid it off. Not debt, he paid off his debt. A mosquito-borne viral disease. Now what is this? A very bad disease. But usually, how do you pronounce this? Just because of the U over here, people usually say dengue or dengue, but the right pronunciation is dengue. Dengue. And let's look at a sentence. She was diagnosed with dengue fever and was immediately hospitalized because she had dengue, not dengue. She had dengue. All right, let's move on. A place where buses, train, or vehicles are housed and dispatched. But what do you call that place? Do you call it a depot? or you call it a day pot. There is no pot. It's a depot. Depot. The T isn't there. It's just a depot. How do you say it in a sentence? The train arrived at the depot on time, ready for passengers to board. The only word we need to concentrate right now on is depot. Let's look at the next one. A person or thing that is a perfect example of something. But how do you pronounce this word? Do you say epitome? Why? Now there is nothing silent here. You say epitome. You stress on the P and you pronounce the me. Epitome. Epitome. Try it with me once. Epitome. Let's look at a sentence. The princess is the epitome of grace and elegance. She is the epitome and not epitome. Let's go to the next one. A person who inherits a rank and property of another on their death. But how do you say this word? Who is that person? Is that person someone's heir or someone's heir? No R and no H, just heir. They are the heir. Try it in a sentence. As the heir to the estate, he inherited the family home. As the heir to the estate, not the heir to the estate. What's next? Something that is not obvious or easily detectable. But how do you say this? It's subtle. No, you don't say it that way. You say subtle. The B is silent. It's subtle. It's subtle. Very subtle. How subtle? The artist used subtle colors to create a calming effect. Subtle. Let's move on to the next one. A tool that is used to smooth clothes or a chemical element. How do you pronounce the name of that tool? Do you say I run? We are not running anywhere. You say iron. Iron. Just say I and the R goes away and we have iron. Let's look at a sentence. She used an iron to press the wrinkles out of her shirt. She used an iron, not an iron, an iron. One more word. The remains of something that is destroyed or broken. This is a very interesting word. How do you pronounce this? Debris or debris or debris? You say debris. The first part is stressed, day, and the last part is not stressed, brie. Debris. Let's look at a sentence. After the storm, there was a lot of debris on the roads. Now, when I said this is an interesting word, I said it because this is a plural and a singular both. You always say debris. May there be a rubble, may there be too much dirt, you will say debris. So, that was debris. And this was the last word on our list today. So, we have done 30 most commonly mispronounced words today. Use them correctly in your daily life. If you have any doubts, any questions, go back to the start of this lesson. It was a long one. See where you want some help. Look at it again, pronounce it, practice pronouncing it with me. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments. This was our lesson for today. I am Anna, and next time I'll bring you another interesting lesson. Until then, have a good one and keep practicing English. Goodbye.